There. Blake, thanks so much.
Yeah.
I want to go over to our guests, and I'll start with you, Chris. I mean, how much do you think of this popularity is actually tied to him being the guy who's not yet in the race? I mean, if he was actually in it, would it be different?
It's like everything else in life. We always want what we can't have, Trish. And I think
Very true. And on that note, I'm gonna let you take a moment to fix that microphone and go over to Mark Serrano. I mean, you think about all this popularity he's seeing right now, and part of it is, as Chris just points out, Americans want what they can have. Does it change once he declares his candidacy?
I don't think so, Trish. Look, there's something to be said about incumbency, and Joe Biden has the advantage of incumbency here as the sitting vice president. Look, this is a guy who's been polling double digits for months, even though he hasn't been in the race yet. So for him to be at 25% says, I think, more about Hillary Clinton, the presumed front runner for the past year, than it does actually about Joe Biden.
In other words, they really don't like her.
Well, it's really impacted
ABC,
her.
anyone but Clinton?
The FBI investigation and the trustworthiness for Clinton in this recent polling still shows that Democrats need to hedge their bets. Okay. They need somebody else in case something goes really wrong with her campaign the next few months.
So, you know, the campaign hasn't gone so great thus far. Chris joining us again with a fixed microphone this time.
I think it's fixed. I think you can hear me. I was trying to yell so loud. Good.
But when you look at how she's struggling right now and you see the success of Biden, the guy who hasn't even declared himself, do you, as a Democratic strategist there, think to yourself, we need him in this race?
No, I don't. I think that she needs to get out of this vicious cycle of polls being bad, the emails, Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. What she really needs is the poll that's going to, not the poll, the debate that's going to happen in a week and a half, where she could shine on the issues, because I think most Democrats and liberal voters, they want to see specifics on plans. They want to see what people.
I mean, debate.
I think she's going to do very well in this debate against the field that's there right now. I think Bernie Sanders, and even if Joe Biden got into the race, look, Joe Biden debated Hillary Clinton in 2008 and didn't do too well against her.
I can tell you.
I think Joe Biden would do a lot better now.
We just heard from Blake Berman that CNN is saying, okay, we can wait until the last moment possible, even if it's the day of. Joe Biden, if you want to be on stage for the debate that night, we'll take you. I mean, let's face it, just from a pure television rating standpoint, they would be better off having Biden on that stage with her.
They would love it if Joe Biden came in at the last minute. It would be a ratings boom for them. They're still not going to get the 24 million that Trump got, but they might get 10 million if Joe Biden at the very last moment said, you know what, I'm throwing my hat in. And it would be a very exciting night. And geeks like me, we'd be really excited about it.
And he's going to,
I think you would get a lot more tune-in factor. Go ahead, Mark, say that.
Well, we now know, I agree with Chris, we now know the timeline for Joe Biden's entry into this race. CNN actually said they'll take him on the day of the debate, Tuesday the 13th, 2 weeks from today. So I think what we're going to see is Joe Biden will enter this race on Monday the 12th, possibly as early as next Thursday the 8th. He will announce, he will enter this race just in time for that debate. I think the timeline is very clear at this point, and it's going to.
You think it's going to be that day? You think that because it helps contribute to the hype if he announces last minute?
Look, reportedly, he's got people hired in 12 states already, and it will add to the hype. It will draw a lot of people to that debate, largely because, look, Hillary Clinton as a debater, it didn't help her to win in 2008, okay? It's not going to help her to win this time either. What could help her to win this time is money and organization.
Hang on for a second. I mean, you know, this has been hers to have or hers to lose. I mean, how could the Democratic Party effectively, and that would be the Democratic Party, really turning on her if they suddenly put the VP in? I mean, that would be essentially President Obama kind of turning on her too, Chris.
Oh, I don't think so. Look, Joe Biden is in a position where he has an opportunity to run for president. You don't get that too often. And once you run for president, you kind of always want to run for president. What they say about presidential fever, the only thing that cures it is the casket. So until Joe Biden is dead, he's always going to think he can be president.
Trish, you said it. Look, you said it. This White House wants Joe Biden in this race badly.
Oh, I think they do too.
Look at this field. Look at this field. The front runner is being investigated by the FBI, and the White House wants someone to compete against her to hold on to their legacy, okay? And she's the architect of their foreign policy, which is failing. The other guy is a socialist who doesn't even want to associate with the Democrats, but wants their nomination. And then the other guy is going to carry the mantle and carry the legacy of the Obama administration in this lousy economy.
I got to tell you, and you know, my intel back in New Hampshire, there's a lot of members of the Democratic Party there that are holding out, waiting for
Absolutely.
Joe Biden. They're convinced he's going to throw his hat in the ring. All right, guys, we got another story to get to.